Hey, good people. I don't know, this day 7, 8, 9, I don't know, day what of the quarantine. But the truth of the matter is I usually live like this pretty much anyway, so not a whole lot's changed for me. Except for I'm working out at home as opposed to going to the gym. So that's different. But I wanted to talk to you just for a minute because there's a lot of foolishness going on, right? You know, when the COVID virus first came out, I was one of the skeptics. Not necessarily because I didn't think the illness was real, but that I didn't think it was necessarily as bad as, say, influenza, right? That kills, 60,000 people last year in the United States. But the more research I did, the more I realized that even influenza has a vaccine and we don't have one for this yet. And so certain segments of our community are vulnerable, even if we ourselves are not. Even if you are young and healthy and vibrant and you're not vulnerable, you could be a carrier and you could encounter people that are vulnerable. And so ultimately, we've got some sense of accountability there. But what I'm really trying to get to is I got a call from a friend this morning who was talking to his mother and he was just kind of dumbfounded by her approach. She's from that generation of Christian people in our family where she just feels like the Lord's going to take care of her. And that may be true. There's a lot to be said about faith and belief and the strength and power those things have over things here in the physical and in the natural. But not that his mother is disingenuous, but I see a lot of this. I see a lot of this on the internet. I see a lot of people talking about the Lord going to take care of them and they going to be all right. And they're doing things that are less than wise. They're doing things that are dangerous. And it just occurs to me that there is now there's this brand of ignorance masquerading as faith. There's this brand of willful ignorance masquerading as this strength in belief in God. And it's misguided. It is absolutely misguided. If anyone is going to believe God for taking care of them, I would think that would be Jesus Christ, right? I would think Jesus has more grounds to stand on the word in relationship with God than any human being that has ever existed. But in Matthew chapter 4, when Satan took him up to the top of the temple and said, hey, listen, throw yourself off, because it's written in the Bible that the Lord will dispatch angels and a host of angels will snatch you out of midair before you dash your foot on any rocks. Why don't you do that, Jesus? Why don't you just jump off here? He'll take care of you. And even though all of that's true, Jesus' response was, it's also written that we're not supposed to test God. So even Jesus, the Son of God, with every right to believe and have faith and do things, was not reckless, did not test God. And we find ourselves now in 2020, where we've got folks running around doing ridiculous things, dangerous things, even if not to themselves, to others. In the midst of this virus, they won't be still. They're out doing stuff because God's going to protect them. God's going to take care of them. God going to watch over me. God got me. Listen, that's foolishness. Sure, God may have you. You may be right. But Jesus himself said we're not supposed to test God. Likewise, even if God does have you, he may not have the people you encounter. And if you're a carrier, you're a risk and a threat to them. And where your faith may be a benefit to you, not so much for them. Be still, people. Sit down. Reconnect. Reconnect with yourself. Reconnect with your God, your spirituality. Reconnect with your family. Reconnect with nature. Don't test God. Be good, people.